Welcome to the Deep Dives, where we plunge into complex issues, really trying to extract the vital insights that help us and you truly understand what's happening beneath the surface. Today, we're setting our sights on Kerala, a place often celebrated, as God's own country.
Right. Beautiful place.
Absolutely. But our deep dive into the material reveals, well, a profound ethical and public safety crisis unfolding there.
Yeah.
It seems the state is navigating a really treacherous tightrope walk between ensuring human safety and upholding animal welfare.
It's a truly striking contradiction, isn't it? As we delved into the numbers, they were quite, well, astonishing, frankly.
What do you find?
In 2023 alone, Kerala reported an eye-watering 122,321 dog bite cases.
Wow, that many.
Yeah. And even more tragically, between January and May of this very year, 2025, we've already seen 16 deaths attributed to stray dog incidents.
16 deaths.
16. These aren't just statistics. They really paint a clear picture of real fear and tragedy for the people living there.
Absolutely. It's a crisis demanding urgent attention. And it's something many of us have seen headlines about, I think. So our mission today is to truly unpack this core dilemma. How can a state balance that undeniable urgent need for public safety against, well, deep-seated cultural sensitivities towards animals and, crucially, the established legal frameworks?
Exactly.
What insights can we really extract to truly grasp this incredibly complex situation playing out on the ground?
Well, the immediate spark for the current heated debate was the state government's controversial plan.
Okay.
Their plan to euthanize what they termed ill and dangerous stray dogs. Now, this wasn't some sudden arbitrary decision,
There's context.
Definitely. Our sources indicate it followed deeply concerning incidents, the most heartbreaking of which was the tragic death of an 11-year-old boy, Nihal.
Oh, I remember reading about that. In Kannur, right, 2022.
That's the one. He was mauled by a pack of strays. That incident, understandably, really galvanized the public and pushed the government to act decisively, or at least to propose decisive action.
And almost immediately, as our sources reveal, this issue escalated. It became a significant legal battleground.
Yep, straight to the courts.
We saw how the Kannur District Panchayat, that's a local governing body, they took their plea to the Supreme Court back in 2022, seeking permission, basically, to eliminate rabid and ill strays. And that plea was rejected?
Flat out rejected.
Yeah, the courts explicitly cited the absence of such provisions in the Animal Birth Control, the ABC rules of 2003.
Right.
So right from the start, it seemed like a legal wall was blocking that approach.
Precisely. And the legal hurdles, well, they continue to mount just very recently. I mean, as of August 3rd, 2025.
Okay, so just days ago.
Yeah, literally just now, the Kerala High Court has actually stayed the government's euthanasia order.
Stayed it. So put it on hold.
Put it on hold. This pivotal decision truly underscores that constant tension we're observing between human rights and animal rights. It's a tension that really defines this entire discussion. It's clear this isn't a simple problem with a straightforward fix.
And the government, for their part, they're pointing to Section 133F of the CRPC, the Code of Criminal Procedure.
Right, the Dangerous Animals Clause.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which empowers district magistrates to deal with dangerous animals. So they feel they have a legal basis to intervene.
Yeah.
But then you have these existing animal welfare laws and the courts stepping in.
It's a genuine legal and ethical maze for everyone involved, no doubt about it.
So let's dive into that legal framework a bit more.
Okay. The maze only deepens when we examine the actual rules. Indian law, specifically those ABC rules of 2003.
Yep.
They generally do not permit the killing of dogs. The only exceptions are if they are terminally ill or, suffering immensely. Advocate Jamon Andrews clarified this point for us.
So it's a pretty strong protection built in.
It is. It highlights that this is a fundamental principle embedded within the existing legislation. It's a strong stance on animal welfare, legally speaking.
Which brings us to a crucial and honestly truly fascinating ethical challenge. How do we even define dangerous?
Exactly.
Is it one bite,
Yeah.
2 bites, a recurring pattern of aggression? It sounds simple, but
It's not simple at all. Without a clear, universally accepted definition, it opens up a huge ethical quagmire. How do you even begin to implement a policy like that fairly and humanely?
that's the core of the problem, isn't it?
It really is. We looked at insights from veterinary experts like Priya Sharma from Kozhikode. She emphasizes the absolute necessity of regulated euthanasia, but only in severe, clear-cut cases.
Okay, so targeted, not widespread.
Right. But she also strongly acknowledges the significant risk of misuse if the definitions are vague or the oversight is lacking. Imagine the challenge, right? Setting up a system that can accurately and humanely assess every single dog and avoid any potential for abuse. It's a monumental task.
Yeah, the potential for error, or worse, abuse, it's high.
Extremely high. And public sentiment, particularly what we see playing out on social media, it really reflects this tension.
How so?
Well, we observed an X post from @Premdas on July 30th, just recently.
Okay.
It specifically highlighted the deferral of euthanasia implementation under the new Prevention of Cruelty to Animals rules, the 2023 ones. It just vividly shows how closely people are watching these legal developments.
And how quickly these decisions ripple through public consciousness, sparking strong reactions, I bet.
Instantly. Very strong reactions on all sides.
So, okay, we have the immediate problem, the bites, the fear. We have the government's proposed solution, euthanasia, hitting legal walls. What does this all mean for finding a lasting solution?
Well, I think we really need to peel back another layer here.
Okay.
And look at the actual root causes. Many argue these are being overlooked in the heat of the immediate debate, you know? It's easy to focus on the urgent problem of dog bites.
Understandably so.
Of course. But what's fundamentally causing these large populations and their presence in human areas in the first place?
That's the critical question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's fascinating how many experts seem to point to something very fundamental, something that sounds almost deceptively simple.
Like what?
Well, Dr. Smithonair, an environmental expert from Kochi, had a really striking observation. She put it plainly. Fix the waste problem, and you'll see a significant reduction in stray dog populations.
Fix the waste problem. It connects the dots immediately, doesn't it?
It does, because fixing the waste problem isn't just about, putting out more bins or sweeping the streets.
No, it's systemic.
Exactly. Our deep dive reveals that poor waste management, the presence of unlicensed slaughterhouses, improper garbage disposal, these aren't just aesthetic issues. They are profound systemic failures.
And they act as massive, uncontrolled brood sources.
Precisely. They directly attract stray populations, pulling them into our urban and residential areas, when their food source is readily available right there in human spaces.
You inevitably get increased interactions and, sadly, potential aggression.
Yeah. The real insight here seems to be that addressing this isn't a quick fix. It requires a deep, cultural, maybe even infrastructural shift in how waste is perceived and managed.
It's a long game, which makes the push for immediate, drastic measures understandable but maybe less effective long-term.
So it becomes clearer then that culling, while it might offer addressing symptoms, not the underlying problems. It's like trying to bail out a leaky boat without patching the holes.
That's a great analogy. And we even observed this critique echoing on social media. There was an X post by @LostHopelessly around July 29th, which pointedly criticized careless focus on culling over fundamental garbage management. The public sees the connection, too.
Okay, so if culling is problematic legally, ethically, and maybe even practically long-term, where does the conversation go?
Absolutely. Moving forward, the conversation really shifts from these urgent, often controversial interventions towards more sustainable, multi-pronged approaches.
Right. Strategies aimed at long-term coexistence, moving decisively beyond culling.
Exactly.
One of the most talked about non-lethal solutions is ramping up animal birth control programs, ABC programs.
Sterilization and vaccination.
That means widespread sterilization and vaccination, right? The core idea being to manage population growth effectively and, crucially, prevent rabies.
Which is a huge part of the fear factor.
Absolutely. We found an ambitious plan mentioned by Minister M.B. Rajesh back in 2022 to vaccinate 10,000 dogs daily.
10,000 a day. That's an incredible target. It certainly signals a serious commitment, on paper at least.
It is, and it's absolutely essential for long-term success, you'd think. However, well, our sources also indicate that implementation lags remain a concern. A September 2024 New Indian Express article pointed out the slow construction of ABC centers.
Okay, so the infrastructure isn't keeping pace with the ambition.
It suggests that while the ambition is certainly there, the necessary infrastructure and maybe the execution capacity still need to catch up. Without that foundational support, scaling up these crucial programs becomes incredibly difficult.
Yeah, targets are one thing, delivery is another.
And it consistently brings us back to what we just discussed. Comprehensive waste management.
Can't escape it.
It seems like it. This isn't merely an environmental concern, it's a public safety imperative in this context. Improving garbage disposal is absolutely critical for cutting off those readily available food sources that draw strays into populated areas.
If there's no consistent buffet available, as you said.
Right. There's significantly less incentive for them to be right outside your door, getting into conflict with people.
Makes sense. Beyond infrastructure and these large-scale programs, though, education and awareness seem like immense factors, too.
How so?
Well, teaching people how to interact safely and responsibly with strays. Discouraging indiscriminate public feeding, for instance. These are simple, but potentially profoundly powerful ways to change human behavior over time.
So, changing how people and dogs interact to reduce conflict.
Exactly. It fosters a safer environment for everyone, humans and animals.
There's also the strategy of establishing more shelters and promoting adoption.
Yes, definitely part of the mix. Giving homeless dogs a safe place and, ideally, a second chance at a new life that systematically reduces the number of strays on the streets.
It's a humanitarian approach with tangible public safety benefits.
And finally, as we've seen, there's this ongoing need for legal clarity.
Back to the law.
Always.
Oh,
Updating existing laws to provide clear, actionable euthanasia guidelines with proper oversight could be beneficial for consistency in extreme cases. However,
Big however again.
yes, we also have to recognize the significant legal and ethical opposition this would inevitably face, as we've already seen with the High Court stay. It's a tightrope walk, even within the proposed solutions, demonstrating the sheer complexity of balancing these deeply held values.
It really paints a picture of just how tangled this issue is. As we've explored, this isn't just a policy debate happening in a vacuum either.
No, it's deeply felt by the public.
And social media gives us a real-time pulse of their perspectives. An ex-post by @PeakT on July 30th, for example, broadened our perspective.
What would it say?
It talked about the pan-India stray dog menace, noting over 37 lakh bites. That's 3.7 million.
3.7 million bites.
Across the country, and 5,700 rabies deaths annually nationwide. It powerfully underscores that this isn't just Kerala's issue, it's a national challenge.
Wow. Puts it in context. And then, on the flip side, we observed reactions like this other ex-post from @Stress, shared on the same day.
Capturing a different angle.
Yeah, it captures a different kind of public frustration, really. It had a rather sarcastic take, highlighting the High Court's suggestion, apparently, for dog lovers to take strays home.
Okay. That put your money where your mouth is sentiment.
Exactly. It really encapsulates that feeling of, okay, if you care so much, what are you going to do about it? It's a raw expression of the burden many citizens feel.
And that sentiment, that frustration, it's so deeply grounded in real personal experiences, isn't it? We found accounts like Ramesh Menon from Thiruvananthapuram, who himself reported multiple bites. This isn't theoretical for people living there.
Not at all.
It's people living with fear and inconvenience every single day. It vividly drives home the public's frustration and the very real public safety aspect of this ongoing crisis.
Indeed. And it's crucial, I think, to connect Kerala's specific struggle to the wider, even global context.
How does it compare?
Well, India as a whole has over 30 million stray dogs, contributing to around 20,000 annual rabies deaths. That's the highest globally.
Highest in the world.
Highest in the world. Now, cities like Mumbai and Delhi face similar challenges, and some have even resorted to things like mass poisonings in the past, tragically.
Right.
But Kerala's unique cultural sensitivity, something noted by Maria Jacob in our sources, makes culling far more contentious there.
Yeah.
It's not just about the numbers, it's about the societal values and deeply embedded beliefs that shape the discussion and, frankly, limit the policy options considered acceptable.
Okay, so we've covered the scale, the legal battles, the root causes like waste, the potential solutions, the public feeling. Where does that leave us now?
Well, it brings us back to where we began, really. As of today, August 3rd, 2025, Kerala's stray dog dilemma remains a profoundly complex and unresolved issue.
And the High Court's recent stay just adds another layer of legal complexity to an already intricate problem.
Exactly. Our deep dive into the evidence, looking at everything, it leans strongly towards non-lethal, sustainable solutions. Things like widespread sterilization programs and, crucially, significantly improved waste management.
The long-term plays.
Yes, a long-term plays. These solutions offer a viable path to coexistence, but they absolutely require significant time, consistent funding, and robust resources to implement effectively across the state. It's not cheap or quick.
And while culling might offer a perceived short-term relief, it clearly carries substantial ethical and legal risks, as we've seen with the court interventions and the public debate.
Definitely. The path forward is undoubtedly challenging. It's a delicate balancing act that demands comprehensive, thoughtful action, really focusing on addressing those root causes rather than just the symptoms.
It leaves us with a lot to think about.
It does, and perhaps with a profound question for reflection, one that Mahatma Gandhi posed many years ago.
What's that?
He said, "The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated."
Powerful words.
They are. What does this powerful observation truly mean for Kerala's challenging path forward? And maybe more personally, what does it prompt you, the listener, to consider as a concerned citizen watching these dynamics unfold, perhaps even in your own community?
Food for thought indeed. Join us next time on The Deep Dive as we uncover another fascinating topic.